All right, Shalom. We're going to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. We're going to say double honors to our apostles and elders. Here at Great Millstone, peace and blessings to the hopefully elect. Not sure what the title's going to be yet, but we're going to cover some facts about the genealogy of the kings of the nation of Israel. You had the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. We're just going to jump right into after the split, and we're going to jump into what we're going to highlight is how when you read the book of the Kings, you have, like if you take Judah, for instance, you have some Israelites, and you can read it in depth to get to the description as of what each one had did. But you had some righteous ones. But what you notice is you had a lot. It was more wicked than there were righteous ones. There was some that did do right at one point and then went back to going off, and it was some that went off and then went to doing right, right? It just shows you the nature of our people, especially with everything that's going on in Israel now. It just shows you that this is who you're dealing with. And then when you get to the northern kingdom, you notice one thing, and there was none of them that did righteous. Now, this doesn't mean that every single northern kingdom was wicked. It just means the kings who were in rulership, none of them did righteous, and that's just kind of telling. When you watch the old apostles videos, talking about the old ones, it was a point in time where they was like, okay, you know what? Like it was a point in time where they used to put up Spanish videos, the apostles and Apostle Ramlab and Elder Zachariah. But then they actually stopped at one point because they said, you know what, Northern King, they just ain't getting it. They just ain't getting it. And I used to hear that, and like it's basically the Northern Kingdom is just so gone off idols and whatnot that they ain't gonna get it. But when you read the scriptures, you see why. It's because they just have a history of being very, we're going to read it, a silly dove, going into idols, worshiping everything under the sun except the right thing. You know what I mean? And it makes sense today why the Lord be judging them the way he be judging them, like he did Puerto Rico not that long ago, like he did them islands not that long ago. Okay? Because we're going to read it. And in the end, the Lord said that he's going to save the tents of Judah first, right? Because, start with King David. There was some righteous ones. And, of course, Yahweh Shai being the son of David, right? But in the end, the Lord's going to bring them both back together. And we're going to be unified once more. And, it's just some history, right? So, we'll start with that. We're basically going to start with Rehoboam. Rehoboam, right? Am I right on that? Yeah, Rehoboam, which was the son of Solomon. He was responsible for the split, which was prophesied, and he was the king over Judah, right? So you can go ahead. Yeah, start at 22. You read that to 33.
1 Kings 12, verse 22, and it reads, "But the word of Yahweh came to Shemaiah, the man of Yahweh, saying, Speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, Thus said the Lord, ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren, children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is for me. They hearken therefore to the word of the Lord, and return to depart according to the word of the Lord."
Right, because they was about to fight, because after the split, Rehoboam was like, no, y'all about to come back here. So we was about to go to war, but the Lord put a stop to it because he said no. All right, and thus that's what birthed the split kingdoms. Keep going.
And Jeroboam built Shechem and Mount Ephraim and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel.
Right, so Jeroboam was basically the first king over the northern kingdom. He was Ephraim, and that's why Ephraim is the head over the northern kingdom, which today are known as the so-called Puerto Ricans. All right, go ahead.
And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David, if this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord of Jerusalem. Then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam the king of Judah, and they shall kill me, and go again to Rehoboam king of Judah.
Right, because the southern kingdom consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because the Levi were the priests. So his mindset was, when the people go to sacrifice, eventually they're gonna go back to the Lord, and they ain't gonna be under my rule no more. And then I'm gonna get put to death, right? And then we're gonna be back to one kingdom again. Keep going.
Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold, and said to them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy God, to Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one even unto God. And he made a house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah, and he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burnt incense.
Right. So you can go to chapter 13 now and just read 32 through 34. Now, like I said, for the most part, we're going to hit each king briefly. We're not going to go into the details, but it talks about the prophets and how they tried to warn them. Because, like I said, that doesn't mean that every northern kingdom was just wicked. No, because they had the prophets that went out before them. And the prophets were who? Israelites, of southern and northern. But you just see that when it came to the northern kingdom, which we're going to read, that all of them were going off. You know, all of them followed after Jeroboam. But then when you get to the kings of Israel, Judah, there was some righteous, but it was more wicked than there were righteous. You know, so it just goes to show you the nature of our people, and this is why ultimately it led to the Assyrian captivity, to the Babylonian captivity, and we've been in captivity basically ever since because we just kept going off. Heck, the fact that we even got a king was wicked because we wanted to be like the heathen. So we just slowly stemmed and just fell further and further. And when we had power to do things our way, only a few of us were righteous. You know. So I think we're still on Jeroboam here. So go ahead.
So verse 32.
Right to 34.
God, 1 Kings chapter 13, verse 32. For the sin which he cried by the word of the Lord against the altar in Bethel, and against all the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. After this thing Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lords of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would, he consecrated him. He became one of the priests of the high places. And this thing became sin into the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth.
Right. So you go to chapter 14 now and go to 21. You can read that to 26. So like I said, you can read the story in depth, but he didn't hearken to the prophets and he just kept hardening his heart. You see? This is why we have these books as a record to show our history, you know, and how we basically went off, because everything's recorded to how we got to where we got to today, and why the Lord just said, like, oh, I'm just utterly put both kingdoms out of his sight. Just get out. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what we did. Yeah, so 21. And now we're dealing with Rehoboam, which he's still over Judah. Right? So now we're dealing with Judah. Go ahead.
1 Kings 14:21.
Yes.
1 Kings 14:21. And Rehoboam the son of Solomon reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy, their sins which he had committed, above all that their fathers had done. But they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree. And there were also Sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem. And he took away the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. He even took away all, and he took away all the shields of gold which Solomon had made.
All right, you can stop there. Correct us out at 1 Kings 15, right? So that just highlighting Rehoboam. So far, even on both sides, nobody's doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Even though Rehoboam, here it is, he's a son of Solomon, which is the son of David, and he goes off. You know what I mean? That quick. You know, just got to doing whatever he wants. Sodomites all in the land, right? Just doing whatever he wanted. You know? And so this is dealing with another king. This is after Rehoboam, right? And I believe this man there was Abjam or something like that. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 15, verse 1. Now in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, reigned Abijam over Judah. 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Absalom. And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him. And his heart was not perfect with Yahweh, his power, as the heart of David his father. Nevertheless, for David's sake did Yahweh his power give him a lamp in Jerusalem to set up his son after him and to establish Jerusalem, because David did that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh, and turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite.
Right, so you could jump to verse 9. So you see, right after Rehoboam, Abijam ruled, and he still went off too. But the Lord made a promise to David that his seed would reign for so long. That's why the Lord didn't utterly destroy, both kingdoms yet, or southern yet, because he wanted to fulfill that promise to David. So again, so far we're off to a bad start with both sides, right? You can read that.
Verse 9, and it says, in the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, reigned Asa over Judah. And 41 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Absalom. And Asa did that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh, as did David his father. And he took away the Sodomites out of the land, removed all the idols that his father had made, and also Maacah, his mother, even her being removed from being queen, because she had made an idol in a grove. And Asa destroyed her idol and burnt it by the brook Kidron. But the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, Asa's heart was perfect with Yahweh all his days.
Now you can jump to verse 24. So with Asa, that's why her brother say, on Judah's side, he was righteous. Okay, he was righteous. He even took his mother down for being queen. He was like, no, we ain't about to do none of this stuff right here. So he was doing the right thing, right? At first, right?
Verse 24.
Actually, I think the story tells you, but you read in another book, right? Because we're going to jump to another king, but he did so good, but in the end, he was diseased of his feet. And the scriptures tell you that I can find it real quick.
Verse 23.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well, the point I want was it's going to be in, I think, Chronicles.
Oh.
Basically, it's going to tell you he didn't ask the Lord. Yes, so this is 2 Chronicles 16 and 12. And Asa in the 39th year of his reign was diseased in his feet, until his disease was exceedingly great. Yet in his disease he sought not the Lord Yahweh, but to the physicians. So you see, in the end of doing all that righteousness, he put his trust in the physicians instead of seeking the Lord. You know, and that occasionally, and I remember reading this, and I'll get upset because like, come on, man, somebody got to do right all the way to the end. But it's the nature of Jake. But other than that, he did the right thing at one point. But in the end, he put his trust in the physicians and not the Lord. So that shows you that as you age, you can kind of lose understanding, just like King Solomon. But so then you can go to what I said, 24. Go ahead.
This is 1 Kings 15:24. And Asa slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father, and Jehoshaphat his son reigned in his stead. Verse 25.
Yeah.
And Nadab the son of Jeroboam began to reign over Israel in the second year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned over Israel 2 years. And he did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and walked in the way of his father, and his sins wherewith he made Israel to sin. And Baasha, the son of Ahijah, of the house of Issachar, conspired against him, and Baasha smote him at Gibeathon, which belonged to the Philistines. From Nadab and all of Israel laid siege to Gibeathon. Even in the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, did Baasha slay him and reign in his stead.
Right. So Nadab reigned after Asa went off, and then Baasha, who was Issachar, ended up slaying him. Right. Keep going.
And it says, and it came to pass when he reigned that he smote all the house of Jeroboam, and he left not to Jeroboam any that breathed until he had destroyed him, according unto the saying of Yahweh, which he spake by his servant Ahijah the Shilonite, because of the sins of Jeroboam, which he sinned, in which he made Israel sin by his provocation, wherewith he provoked Yahweh power of Israel to anger.
Okay, let me correct myself. Slacker. He was the king over. Baasha was the king over Israel. I think I said Judah. That was a mistake. This is all while Asa is still alive. Like I said, you can read the story, but the prophecy basically, the Lord prophesied that all the house of Jeroboam will be destroyed. He got his son got sick. He sent his wife try to disguise herself. The prophet said, "Your kid gonna die, and the Lord gonna whack all of the house of Jeroboam for his wickedness." So it ended up happening with Baasha. So after him, Nadab ruled. He was wicked. Then Baasha slew him. So then he ruled, and he was during the same time as Asa. So I just want to correct it. That's Israel there. You can go to verse. You read 30, right? So you can go to 32.
And the reason it says, and there was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days.
So we would still fight, right? Go ahead.
In the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, began Baasha, the son of Ahijah, to reign over all Israel and Perizah 24 years, and he did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and walked in the ways of Jeroboam, and in his sins, wherewith he made Israel to sin.
So again, there's Israel, okay, northern kingdom going off. Okay, that's Issachar right there. All right, just following out the fathers of what? Jeroboam. So you can go to chapter 16 now.
He committed murder too, because he killed all Jeroboam's children.
Well, it was prophesied that the Lord's gonna destroy him, but he used him to do it, kind of. Yeah. So.
They just let you know the Lord can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. So take out the family and condemn you at the same time.
That's right. Some scary stuff.
I tell you, verse just 29 and 30.
You got that?
No.
King.
Yeah, you can read that. It's just the next chapter, yeah.
1 Kings 16, 29 and 30, right?
Yep.
The reason it says in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab the son of Omri to reign over Israel. And Ahab the son of Omri reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. And Ahab the son of Omri did evil in the sight of Yahweh above all that were before him.
Now we can stop there because we know the story of Ahab. Okay, he married Jezebel and all hell went to hell. Okay, again, this was the northern kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Marrying and what was she wasn't Canaanite? Or was she Canaanite?
She was a Zidonian.
Is that Canaan?
Ham.
Yeah, it may be. But she married Jezebel, brought all the prophets under Baal, and then that's where you get Elijah coming in, rebuking them, etc. So we just gonna pass that. If you know the story, you know what I'm saying. A whole, very lengthy story of him going off. So much so that Elijah came. And mind you, every time the Lord is sending these prophets to tell Jake to repent, both southern and northern. But as you can see, a lot of them are either killing the prophets, slaying them. Like we read about the story of Ahab, he was slaying the prophets. Only people that were allowed were prophets of Baal. That's why Elijah had to say, Lord, I'm the only one. They slew them all. So this is our people catching hell. And a lot of that was us, just rebuking the wicked kings. You going off, that said the Lord, that, man, kill this dude. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of things we suffered under our people. Jake just wicked.
Yeah, even Micah, when he prophesied Ahab's death.
Yeah.
He had the southern king Jehoshaphat and him.
In fact, there's still one more cross out if you don't mind. Chapter 22, verse 41.
41.
Yep. Yeah, so again, I'm skipping the story because it's really long. Ahab bucking up, humbling himself, bucking up, and still in the end got destroyed, because of that woman. Yeah.
This is 1 Kings 22 and 41. And Jehoshaphat the son of Asa began to reign over Judah in the 4th year of Ahab, king of Israel.
So Jehoshaphat, like the brother said, you have Jehoshaphat over Judah, Ahab over Israel. Jehoshaphat is the son of Asa. Like I said, Asa was righteous. It's just in the end, he put his trust in men instead of the Lord. Right? Keep going.
And the reason it says Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem. And his mother name was Azubah, the daughter of Shilhi. And he walked in all the ways of Asa, his father. He turned not aside from it, doing that which was right in the eyes of Yahweh. Nevertheless, the high places were not taken away, for the people offering burnt incense yet in the high places, and Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of Israel. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat and his might that he shewed and how he warred, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And the remnant of the Sodomites which remained in the days of his father Asa, he took out of the land.
Okay. So Hawashai, 2 Kings chapter 10, verse 18. So that's going all the way to, Asa and Jehoshaphat. And we had to get all the way here just to hear about somebody doing something right for once. You know what I mean? And that just shows you that Sodomites, Jake was still on the down low. Just depending on who was ruling, they came out openly. But when the right one came into place, he drove them all out the land. So that's a right thing. So you got people who, the Lord loves Sodomites. No, he don't. Because the right thing would be to cast them out the land. You can't do that here because you ain't got an island big enough to hold all of them.
The right thing would be is put them in death.
Yeah.
So like going back to Jezebel, so you said she was Zidonian, right?
Right.
So they were Hamites, right?
Right. I just didn't know that was Canaan.
Kind of, yeah, because I was reading Genesis,
yeah.
The 10th chapter, basically going down the genealogy of Ham, and Zidon was Sidon.
Yeah, so she is a Canaanite.
Yeah, and her name means with Baal, and that's the story right there, but there's Jake weak to that woman. But all right, brother, go ahead.
This is 2 Kings chapter 10, starting at the 18th verse. And Jehu gathered all the people together and said unto them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu still served him much.
So okay, let's see. Jehu. Okay, so we jumping down to we on the northern kingdom side again. You got Jehu. All right, now he said Jeroboam served.
Yeah,
he said
yeah. Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu served him much.
Right, but it said, but Jehu shall serve him much.
Yeah,
you know, basically
Jehu shall serve him much. Like
we about to go above and beyond. But when you read the story, he was actually being deceitful. He did this as a way to. In fact, go ahead and read the next verse.
Okay. Now therefore, call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all his servants and all his priests. Let none be wanting, for I have great sacrifice to do to Baal. Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worshippers of Baal.
So you could jump down to verse 28. So that right there makes you think like, okay, you know, because you could read, but he made sure he gathered all the people. He was lying to them, pretending, and he made sure he double checked. He said, make sure there are no prophets of the Lord up in here, because he basically knew I'm about to slay these people, and I want to make sure I don't accidentally kill nobody else. And that's exactly what he did. So you think that's honorable, right? Well, he still went on. You can go ahead.
2 Kings 10 and 28. Thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. Howbeit from the saints of Jeroboam the son of Nebat. Howbeit from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, Jehu departed not after them, to wit, the golden calves that were in Bethel and that were in Dan. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Jehu, because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in my eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab according to all that was in mine heart, thy children of the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. But Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of the Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, with all his heart, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. In those days the Lord Yahweh began to cut Israel short, and Hazael smote them in all the coast of Israel.
Right, so right there the Lord just complimented him doing the right thing, and yet he still goes off. He's following the way of Jeroboam, which we read. He set up golden calves and said, these are thy gods. You see, this is Jake, all right, in particular, you know, Northern Kingdom. That's why you'll hear the apostles talk about how when it comes to Ephraim, which just embodies the whole Northern Kingdom, the Latin tribe, that they're just so fucking far gone in the idols and shit like that, that you just understand, like, okay, this is why the Lord got to bring judgment upon, especially y'all on them damn islands, because y'all wicked, you know. But when you hear judgment going down to those people, you know, you got to understand, behind the scenes, they going off, man. They are very big in idolatry, especially when it comes to that Virgin Mary. And, you know, they got those, what is that, Lady of Guadalupe? You know, it's on their taxis, you know what I'm saying? They got, you go in their house and you're gonna see statues of they go off on purpose, and they know exactly what they're doing. And then they try to wake up to the fact that they're Israelites, and they see a so-called Black Messiah. A lot of them get offended right then and there. They say, no, you know, if anything, he's a Mexican, which we had a Jake say that he's a Mexican because his name is Jesus. I'm like, you fucking idiot. First of all, you guys adopted that name because you know you're Israelites. But Jesus isn't even his name. But that's just how far gone they are, especially with the Virgin Mary, especially with that. You know what I'm saying? But so it says, in those days the Lord Yahweh began to cut Israel short, and Hazael smote them in the coast of Israel. So the Lord was starting to he was getting sick. He was getting tired. Like I said, I'm just jumping to the certain kings. I didn't hit every single king. But there's stories in that, man. Jake going off doing wickedness, killing the prophets, not listening. You can read it. That's why the books are so long, because it goes from Kings, Second Kings, and the Book of Chronicles. And some of the books go into more depth. Like I said, you got the story of Elijah and Elisha. This is all dealing with wicked kings, trying to put them to death. So the Lord's getting tired. And when it said he began to cut short, that's the Hebrew word quatazah. It means to cut off, So this is when he started to say, all right, I had enough. I'm going to start bringing some judgment upon these people. So again, so far in another kingdom, like I said, well, spoiler alert, none of the kings were righteous. Even when they went to start off good, they went back to doing evil. And and like I said, when you go to the side of Judah, you have more wicked than righteous. But then you have some who went from good to bad, and you have some that went from bad to good. So now you can go to chapter 17 and start from the top on that.
This is 2 Kings chapter 17, starting at the first verse. Right? It says, in the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Eli, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years.
So now we're getting down to the end here. Okay, you got Hoshea, which was actually the last king recorded in the kingdom of Israel. Yeah, you keep going.
Right, verse 2. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord Yahweh, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came Salmanasar, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to king of Egypt, and brought no presents to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison.
Now you can jump to verse 18.
Okay, verse 18, right? And it says, and they rejected his statutes and his covenants that he made with their fathers.
Verse 18?
I'm sorry, Salakia. It says, therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
Like I said, I'm skipping it, but it's basically showing you how they was putting their children through the fire, sacrificing to Baal, just going off. That's what Jake was doing. And so the Lord said, what? Now it's time to remove them out of my sight. Because again, there was no righteous kings among them. Doesn't mean that they were all wicked, because you had prophets of the northern kingdom and they just weren't hearkening to them. But nevertheless, the Lord was judging them. Right? So he said, all right, now it's time to get them out of my face. And it was actually Hoshea, right, the Assyrians, that took the northern kingdom into captivity. And then that's where they eventually came over here to this side of the world. You know what I'm saying? And when it said the tribe of Judah only, it's really talking about the three tribes. Keep going.
Also, Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord Yahweh their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord Yahweh rejected all the seeds of Israel and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drove Israel from following the Lord Yahweh, and made them sin a great sin. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord Yahweh removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria until this day.
Right, so that ends that. So I just wanted to briefly touch on certain kings of the kingdom of Judah and Israel, and how we got to this point where the Lord just said, all right, enough is enough. I had enough. And at that point, we've been in captivity ever since. It went from the Syrians to the Babylonians, Persians and the Medes, to Greeks to Romans, to being in darkness. Well, we was in the Middle Ages, but we didn't have the Lord, to what? America, and that's where we're here today. You know what I'm saying? So that's how much we pissed the Lord off by not doing what was right. And like I said, even in the Southern Kingdom, you had some righteous ones, but there was more wicked than there were righteous. So that's the reason why the Southern Kingdom was basically around during those captivities, but there wasn't 100%. There was still some Northern Kingdom there. That's why you can read that in the New Testament when it tells you about the Asherite, right? And then the Lord said that He got other sheep to go tend to, which we were talking about the Northern Kingdom, because they was already on this side of the world by that time. So with that said, I know you told you Jeremiah 3, right? And the why, if you don't mind, Hosea 4 and 11. And Prophet, can you give me Jeremiah 31, 20. Go ahead, brother, on that Jeremiah.
This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 3, and starting at the 6th verse, it reads, The Lord Yahweh said also unto me the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backslided Israel hath done? She's gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and they have played the harlot. And I said, after she had done all these things, return thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it. And I saw when, for all the causes whereby backslide Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Right, so you see what the Lord is talking about. You know what I'm saying? The Lord was dealing with both kingdoms, and there was times, like you said, individually. Like there's a story about, I forget the name of the king. I forget. But he was going to go to war, and he paid Issachar to come on up. But the Lord said, no, I don't want you to use them, because I'm pissed off with them right now. And if you go to war with them, I'm going to make you fall. And he was like, well, Lord, I already paid them. He said, I can give you more than that. So then he said, look, we don't need y'all. And they got mad. The scripture said they got mad at the southern. So that shows you that's more history on why there was strife between the tribes and how that built up. But there were times where the Lord was like, I'm with you in the war, but I ain't with them. So don't include them in your army. Even though y'all brothers, he pissed off. See what I'm saying? So when you're talking about northern and southern, and you say, look, in Judah treacherous, you're going to follow after her. So he's talking to both, right? You can keep going.
Verse 9. And it came to pass through the likeness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and the stocks. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah had not turned unto me with her whole heart, but vainly, saith the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh said unto me, the backslide Israel had justified herself more than treacherous Judah.
Right, and it says, but vainly, like instead of turning their whole heart, but vainly, which that word just goes into with the pretense, not fully committed. Vainly, Hebrew word, shakar. Yeah, falsehood, so deceitfully. And why is that? Because you had some righteous kings of Judah, but not all of them. So they would do some righteous things, and then they may go off. I just didn't touch on those stories, but there was plenty of times. And then you had some who went off, but ended up doing right in the end, like Hezekiah, right? You can keep going.
Verse 12. Go and proclaim these words towards the north and say, return, thou backslide Israel, saith the Lord Yahweh, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy power, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Lord. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion.
Right. So that's the message for both tribes right now. Repent, and He'll take us one of a city and two of a family. He'll bring us back. Right. Okay, you can go to that Hosea for me. 11 to 19.
So Isaiah 4 and verse 11, and it reads, whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. My people ask counsel at their stops, and their staff declared unto them, for the spirit of whoredom hath caused them to err. They have gone a horn from under their power. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains, and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery, for themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that does not understand shall fall. Though thou, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend, and come not ye unto Gilgal, neither go ye up to Bethaven, nor swear the Lord liveth. For Israel slided back as a backsliding heifer, now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone.
Yeah, you see, and this is why eventually you get to the when you trying to talk, man, trying to get through to these hard-headed northern kings. You got to remember, they are so going into idolatry, man. That's why they get judged the way they get judged. In fact, if you just look up the top religion in, I think, like Puerto Rico or Roman Catholicism. So when they got hit by that tornado, when the Lord brought that judgment down there, they were still praying to those guys. Still, you know, like here it is. They can link themselves back to being linked to slavery, and they still go with the Roman Catholicism. They still follow in the belief of their oppressor that forced them into that religion in the first place. And you go down there, you try to, and that's why we got one brother. He's not a GMS, but we got one brother down there in Puerto Rico. We acknowledge you, Akia. We know you there, and he by himself. And we always watching, and we be like, I wonder if he gonna get. And he like, man, you gotta remember who you dealing with. Okay, you dealing with hard-headed Ephraim. Okay, a lot of them are just so stuck on stupid and idolatry. That's why Lord said, look, they joining the idols, man. Leave them alone. And just like the little clip, Brother Sher, with them little. I think they was at a club and dudes asking them questions, and it was all Northern Kingdom, and they basically talking about the stuff they like, and it was just foul. And most of them were sodomites.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And I just don't. You just be like, look, just send a nuke. When you heard, when you heard Judah say something, you know it's gonna be some wicked shit. But then you heard Northern Kingdom say something, you just like, ain't none of you got no sense understanding. I'm not trying to harp on them, but it just makes sense why the Lord say what they say. They just gone, man. Like, they just real big into idolatry. That's why it'll be hard, to get them to see the light. Because like I'm telling you, you're going to see that Lady of Guadalupe, Virgin Mary, Roman Catholicism, anything other than the truth. And because of the...
Maria, is that the other one? What is it, Santa Maria?
Yeah, Santa Maria is like the Dominican magic.
Same thing. That's Northern Kingdom. And especially Simeon, they big on witchcraft, man. Simeon.
Yeah, they just as bad as Levi.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they worse than Levi.
Well, every time I think of Simeon, women, first thing I think of witch. That's how much they are attributed to that shit.
Right.
That's how much they so far gone, especially them women. Okay, a lot of them are fucking witches, man. They're just like their sister, the N-Dub, Southern Kingdom woman. They wicked too. But if every time I even meet a Simeonite woman, I automatically think you probably a witch. That's how much they into that stuff. That's Northern, man. They left. They deep into that left.
kind of like the funny thing about it is they have all the idols, you know, which is bullshit. They have all the idols and claim that they believe in the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. But then they want to get their pomade on the side. They yeah, I know this lady, you know, she's a prophet. You know, ah shit, the bitch a witch.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, she you know, she had a vision and this time like witch. You know, like you said, witch.
You know, tarot cards and all that.
Crystals and shit.
And in Brazil, one thing known down there is a lot of cannibalism goes on down there. In fact, all the videos I've seen of cannibalism all have to do with Northern Kingdom. Like they be eating each other, you know what I'm saying? Especially in Brazil, like I know people like Brazil, but there's a lot of foul shit that go down in there in Brazil. You know, in the name of their gods, harvesting body parts, and a lot of it's cannibalism. It's big down there. You know?
Yeah, and they get that shit from Ham.
Yeah.
Like Ham do that shit. Like I'm gonna eat your heart, so that's gonna give you some you know, some type of power or something. That's the Hamite shit. You know, you even had Jake over there in the west coast of Africa that was doing that. Did y'all see that? They was basically taking their dead relatives and like grinding them up and like smoking them. I forgot what the name of the drug was. I think it's like some type of, you know, when your body decomposing, they make like some type of chemical. It might be sulfur or something, and they get high off the sulfur.
Wicked. So yeah,
That's wicked shit, man.
we're gonna throw Southern in nerves too. Like they on the island with Levi, and they big in witchcraft too. That's why the Lord be really jacking y'all up, because y'all supposed to be the priests. You know, well the priesthood is open to all the tribes now, but you know that's why you're reading. You know, the Lord basically get disappointed at Southern because he like, you coming straight out of the loins of David. You supposed to lead by example, and King Solomon. You know, right. But you can read the rest of that started from 17 again, Baba Shah. I'm talking about Tazman. You can read the rest of that started from oh wait, no, that was you.
Yeah.
Slack it. Yeah.
Verse 17. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let them alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love. The wind have bound her up in their wings, and they shall be ashamed because of the sacrifices.
Right, and like I said, Ephraim represents the whole northern kingdom, so it's not just Ephraim. You got Manasseh in there, Zebulun, Gad, Simeon, all them in there. Like we read, they was really joined into Baal, Ahab. You know, you can learn a lot from Ahab, but everything besides Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know, they didn't follow after their ancestors such as Joshua, who was a good leader in the kingdom. You know, plenty of other good Israelite leaders from Southern. Instead, they followed Jeroboam when he set up golden calves, and his own priests to say, "Look, y'all the priests." You know, going off the Jeremiah and how can you give me Isaiah 11, and Tazwan, can you hold me Zechariah 12, and that'll be it. Isaiah 11. I forget which verse, but it's about the bringing them both together.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah 30 and verse 20.
31 and 20.
31 and 20?
Yeah. In fact, start at 18.
This is Jeremiah 31 and verse 18. And it says, I have surely heard Ephraim bemoaning himself thus. Thou hast chastised me, I was chastised as a bullock, unaccustomed to the yoke. Turn thou me, and I shall be turned, for thou art Yahweh my power. Surely after that I was turned, I repented, and after that I was instructed. I smote upon my thigh, I was ashamed, yea, even confounded, because I did bear the reproach of you.
Right, so again, it's not just the bashing of the northern kingdom, you know, like I said, we love our brothers, but this right here is showing you that, because you got wicked Israelites out there, man, and it goes back to the strife, you know, they every now and then they resurface just to say all the tribes are black, and The Lord ain't dealing with the Latin tribes, and all that's doing is just vexing um, the Northern Kingdom, which we're gonna read because they know the history, right? And they like I say, even when you read the history, hearing Jake get messed up, the Southern was like, yeah, that's what they get. They deserve that. You know what I mean? Yeah, get them out of here. So all that stuff just brewed to now, and it's coming to an end. But nevertheless, it still affects some brothers out there. And just know that look, the Lord's still gonna have mercy on all the tribes. 12,000 out of every tribe. So you still a part of the kingdom. You know what I mean? And the Lord is acknowledging when Ephraim, basically the northern kingdom, acknowledging like, yeah, we messed up. He sees that. All right, keep going.
And just like we had that one Jake, the Levite come down and was like, man, I hope he basically saying he hates cities and stuff like that, you know, because of what they're doing. So, but,
I mean, she was probably nasty and stuff.
what was that? Verse 30.
Verse 20. Yeah.
And it says, Ephraim, my dear son, is he a pleasant child? For since I spake against him, I do earnestly remember him still. Therefore my bowels are troubled for him. I will surely have mercy upon him, saith Yahweh.
Right. So you see, the Lord acknowledges Ephraim, right, and He says, you know, I will have mercy upon him. So that's just for the brothers out there, like I said, Northern Kingdom. They go through it. You know, they go through it. They're reading about the story, and like I said, you got the so-called black-only Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Offending them. A lot of them, they going through it. But guess what? Just know all you gotta do is read Revelation chapter 7. It tells you y'all gonna be a part of you part of the elect. The Lord is bringing us both back together, and the Lord sees your bemoanings yourselves, and you doing the right thing. You know, and our leaders, a lot of our leaders are northern as well, leading by example. You know, so for the other Akyam to help them in, because I mean, nobody in the room may not see it, but a lot of brothers go through that out there. You know, a lot of them who look like the foreigners, they got their own demons they battle. They look like the foreigners, right? So they have doubts within themselves, you know. But that's why you got the scriptures for comfort. All right, you know what that said in Isaiah 11?
God. This is Isaiah 11, starting at the 13th verse.
Yep.
All right, ready?
Yep.
This is Isaiah 11, starting at the 13th verse. It says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
Because that's exactly what's going on. When Southern throw that whole, man, dude's wicked. You know what I'm saying? That's just vexing them. And then you got the envy of vice versa because of the position. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, you got Howard Shai. All that we still deal with to this day in this truth. Even outside the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about Simeon. I'm leery with Simeon. I wouldn't want to go to Dominican Republic because I see all the videos about how if you got the appearance of Southern, how you get mistreated. And we the same damn people. You know what I'm saying? But that's there though. It's like, the hell with you. But I understand where it come from. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be put to an end.
If I can add, because y'all, but for all you new people who might be watching, okay, Judah is the head tribe of the southern kingdom. You got Judah, Levi, and Benjamin. And then Ephraim is the head tribe of the northern kingdom. Okay? That's all the other tribes of the house of Israel, okay? And the scriptures basically saying that, you know, we used to fight one another, but the Heavenly Father is going to bring us all back together, okay? But just to add for the new people that may not know, okay?
Right. You can read the next verse.
Okay, it says, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west, and they shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hands upon Edom, okay? Edom was number one, and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them.
All right, so you see, in the end, we're going to have rule over these heathen, and they're going to obey us. Okay, we're going to be brothers again. which we are already brothers, but we're gonna be back joined again.
God.
You know, so it's in there. So you can go to that Zechariah 12, read that to verse 10, and that'll do it. Because like the brother said from the beginning, Judah was set up for the head over all the tribes. But then when that split happened, as you can see, Ephraim took the throne over the northern kingdom. And like I said, Jeroboam, his heart was wicked, so he said, I'm going to make my own priests, lest they go up there, and then we become one kingdom again. So that's basically when the whole envy and all that started anyway. Because I tell you, there was war between Jeroboam and Asa. It was a bunch of back and forth. So, you know, like you said, for the new people, I never had any, before I came in this troop, I didn't have any bad experience with Northern Kingdom, but a lot of Jakes did, Southern did. It's like, you know, it's kind of hard for me to accept that because of the hell I had to deal with in their life. But we know where it stems from. You know, it stems from the scriptures, old, you know, old little infightings we had. You know, what the hell's going on? Well, I said chapter 12. It's like, all right, brother, go ahead.
You said verse 10 or
Start at 1.
This is Zechariah chapter 12, verse 1. It reads, The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, Yahweh, will stretch forth the heavens and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it.
Another thing throughout there, when the Lord says Judah and Jerusalem, like I said, it's the same as saying Judah and Israel. It's talking about the southern and the northern. You keep going.
Verse 4. In that day saith the Lord Yahweh, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord Yahweh of hosts their power. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like a heart of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in the sheep. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. And the Lord Yahweh also shall save the tents of Judah first, and the glory of the house of David, and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
Right, because again, like we explained from the beginning, the southern kingdom, Judah was set up to be the head over the tribes. And then you had the split. And then you had the strife and the envy. And like I said, even though both ultimately went off, when it came to the kingdom of Israel, none of them was right. You know what I'm saying? And then you go into the Romans 11, the unnatural branches. Is it unnatural branches? Am I saying that right? The natural branches and the unnatural branches. I'm saying that right. And then it talks about what? Let not you say the natural was cut off so that I may be entered, because the same way you came in, the Lord can reject you too. Meaning, don't boast because you're saying, oh, okay, because it's primarily talking about the northern kingdom, and say, oh, Judah fell, so we can come in and try to boast yourself against the southern. The Lord said you can't do that because they can come back too. But nevertheless, He said He gonna say the tents of Judah first, right? Because it's the house of David is rest upon that, and that's who Yahushua is coming out of, right? And so that the northern kingdom don't magnify themselves against Judah. You keep going.
Verse 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications. And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him, as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in the bitterness for his firstborn.
Right. So, and that's what we believe, that in the kingdom is going to be a day where we mourn over Yahushua's body. But it says here, it says what? That he going to pour upon the house of David and Jerusalem what? The spirit of grace and supplication. So that's open to all the tribes. So at the end of the day, the Lord is going to redeem the whole nation of Israel in the kingdom, and the elect, which consists of 12,000 out of each tribe and a mixed multitude. Right? And I think, come on, man. I think that was also Zechariah where you just said, is it? Wow. I'm right at the end and they want to do that. Okay. Basically say it will bend Judah and shoot Ephraim or something like that. Yeah. I know this in Zechariah. Maybe I'm wrong.
Zechariah 9:13.
Go ahead.
The reason it says, when I had bent Judah for me, filled the bowl with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. And the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and the Lord Yahweh shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south. And the Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall strike and make a noise as through wine, and they shall be filled like boughs, and as the corners of the altar. And the Lord their power shall save them in the day of the flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young man cheerful, and the new wine with the maids.
Right, so just another verse showing you that the Lord's going to use both tribes to bring judgment together. Bend Judah as a bow, and load Ephraim as, the arrows. Said what? The envy and the strife are going to depart, but we're going to ride upon these Philistines. We're going to get them. We're going to get Moab. We're going to get Edom. So we're going to end up getting these people, these heathen, and all that touched us. And then, of course, you got the chapter of Ezekiel 37. So, that's the history on it. And like I said, there's a bunch of nuances, but it explains the strife between the tribes that's still going on today, in the truth too as well. But once you understand the scriptures, you understand why the Lord says what he says, and why he's going to do what he's going to do, and why you can understand the nature of, say Northern Kingdom, and why they're so gone into idols. But at the end of the day, the Lord still loves his people, and he's going to extend mercy to them. And in the end, we're going to join hands, and we're going to get these damn heathens, man. Do y'all have anything? What you got?
Isaiah 11. Verse 10.
Okay.
And it reads, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people, and to it shall the Gentiles seek, and his breast shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and Elam, and from Shinar, and Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Like the brother was saying, the Lord is gathering us now. You know, but you got Israelites just scattered all throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay? You even got, you got a GMS Australia, you got a GMS Germany. And what the hell Israelites doing in Germany? And we everywhere. You got Israelites in Japan. Okay? And yeah, the Lord said that the vexation and that envy is going to depart. We are Israelites.
And we on the line together. Just look up Chicago. It's probably one of the most diverse camps, big camps, diverse, southern and northern together. In fact, the one we chopped it up with last camp was northern. Very spiritual guy. Who looks to be Gad. We received him, man. Whereas some guys who got a problem with that, they would have rejected him because he doesn't look like, Wesley Snipes, which is just stupid. You know what I'm saying? So Northern King is some of the nicest people you ever meet.
Yeah.
Except Reuben. No, I'm just joking. Just joking.
Get on you.
See, that proved my point. No, I'm just kidding. Anybody got anything? No. All right, so with that, we hope it was edifying. And we say shalom.
Shalom.